Hi guys, so in this video we're going to talk about writing a solution in context. Now this isn't exactly what your lesson is on Wednesday, but it is important because on your project that we're starting on Wednesday, you're going to have to do this. We noticed last year that this was a learning goal people struggled with, so we thought it was important to dedicate a whole video to it. So in the first example, let's start by annotating. The state fair is a popular field trip destination. Great, don't really care, that's nice, but not important. This year, the freshman class at high school A and the freshman class at high school B both planned trips there. A lot of excess information. But I do realize that high school A and B are important. The freshman class at high school A rented and filled 8 vans and 8 buses with 240 students. High school B rented and filled 4 vans and 1 bus with 54 students. Every van had the same number of students in it as the buses. Not super important. Find the number of students in each van and in each bus. Okay, so if the solution to the system was 24, 38, what does the x and y represent? So we need to think back to yesterday and think of our left statements, right? So let us think about the 2 things that we are looking for. Go back to your question. Find the number of students in each van and in each bus. So number of students in van and in bus. So we need one of those to be x and one of those to be y. All right? So when I look at my solution, I need to know, what do those 2 numbers even represent? All right? So the 24 being the x would mean there are 24 students in each van and 38 students in each bus. Notice how I just put together my let statement. I answered this question here, and I labeled each variable with its correct description. That is what it means to write a solution in context. Let's try another one. Let's start by annotating. Matthew and Arlette are selling fruit for a school fundraiser. Great. Customers can only buy small boxes of oranges and large boxes of oranges. Okay? Sounds like those are going to be my 2 things, but let's just make sure. All right. Matthew sold 3 small boxes, 14 large boxes for a total of $203. Arlette sold 11 small, 11 large for a total of $220. Find the cost. I don't know what my Alexa is thinking, but she's overhearing us and just tried to do some calculations. I don't know if you heard that. Anyway, find the cost of each one small box of oranges and 1 large box of oranges. So our 2 variables definitely are small boxes and large boxes. Let's go ahead and define them. Let this one be x and this one be y. All right, and we are talking about cost. So if this is my solution, what does the x and y represent? X would be the cost of the small box of oranges is $3.75. And the cost of one large box is $5. Okay, again, we answered the question that was being asked. And we used our let statement to label each part of the solution. All right, why don't you pause the video and try number 3? Okay, so while you were working, I did some annotating. And in this question, we're talking about 2 different types of presses, Model A and Model B. And this is our type of press. And we're trying to figure out how many of each. So let's go ahead and label X and Y. Now, I didn't mention this before, but it doesn't matter which one you choose initially, as long as it remains the same throughout your entire solving process. Even if your friend chose the opposite, their answer would just be flipped. So if they chose Model A as Y, they would get 5 in their Y spot. Okay, so don't worry about that as much. However, when we're answering our question, we need to make sure we are labeling it and going back to our let statement. So the question said, how many of each type of press do they have? So they have 5 presses of Model A, because that's my X, and 9 of Model B. Okay, again, I use my question. That's right here. And I use my let statement. If you have any questions, make sure to write it in. Project starts today.